Hey everybody. I had a long practice session the other day and I made some videos. So I want to share them with you. I started, as I always do, with offhand, standing position. Here we go. NPA might be a little to the right. Looked like my trigger broke at about 9 ring at 6 o'clock, maybe 5 o'clock. I think this is into the dry fire. Yeah, I think I got it in there that time, but I could still be a tiny bit more aggressive on the trigger. Let me show you what I mean. Slowed it down here. So as it's coming in, that's really when I should be applying pressure. Like right in there, but not a bad result. It's just a comment. Let's keep going. Okay. I loaded the first round and the darn thing flew out on me. Check this out. So there it is. Putting the round in. And I close the bolt. Bam! It just flew out of here. There I am looking at it on the ground in front of the firing line. Like, okay, it's a good thing I put 26 rounds in my ammo pouch for 2-siders, 20 shots for record, and 4 just in case stuff like that happens. All right, let's keep watching. I would have called that a 10 at 2. Solder 1's down. You can hear me clicking down and to the right. Now keep in mind, when I click down, it doesn't just go straight down. Right? You see this cant? So clicking down means down and to the right. So if I thought that was a 10 at 2, I probably gave it, just to be safe, I think I probably gave it 6 clicks down and maybe a couple clicks right. Sort of passed right through the center and just kind of felt like there was something pulling me towards the bottom right. That often happens. No big deal. Just start over. Took 2 seconds to start over. There we go. I would have called that an exit too. So I think I clicked down a couple. In reality, cider 2, yeah, that makes sense given what I dialed. Given that I dialed 6 clicks down, it probably should have been more. Alright, this is shot for record number 1. It's moving around. Ooh. Yeah, a lot of good chances there, but when I'm not aggressive enough on the trigger and I don't end up being able to break the first pass through, like that one, right? I was zooming too fast, and then kind of dawdled, and um, I think for me that if I am so tentative on the trigger that I can't break the first one or two good looks, then it's not like I'm suddenly going to get much more aggressive and time um, the next wobble perfectly. So I just take 2 seconds, reset, and try again. It takes less time for me to do that than to kind of mess around and try to get it back in the center and all that other stuff. Yeah, looks like I'm kind of setting up to the right. That happens. I'd call that a 10 at 9. 9 at 9. Not aggressive enough. Yeah, I probably should have put more clicks right, and I don't think I did. Oops. I think 2 clicks right would have put me on the line. 10 ring. I guess that's why it's important to have zeros. 10 at 12. Nope. You kind of see it in my face, like, what? Am I not clicking enough? What's going on? That's okay. No reason to waste time thinking about it. Just dial and get back in the scope. There we go. See, I would have called that an X at 1. Instead it's a 10 at 1. So, having to click some more. Whoa, it was kind of moving real fast there. I would have called it an outside 10 at 8, but I think it probably flinched. So, decided to take a break. Right? Think happy thoughts. I don't know. Would have called that a 10 on the line at 1. So I'm using the dot. Okay, I'm watching the dot in this string, which is that's my go-to. That's what I start with. Try to get the dot as it's kind of in the 10 range, especially as it's entering. That shot was perfectly on call. As you can hear, it was a little windy. Not too bad, just there's little puffs here and there. Those trees weren't moving. You could kind of see the camera shaking a little bit. You see this lower left, it's kind of shaking in and out. Yeah, the phone was on my scope stand and Getting blown around a little bit. But what can you do? All right. Didn't see any good opportunities that time, so that's a reset. Back in the scope. Not looking good. Whoa! Yeah. Right when I would have abandoned. Looks like it calmed down. Gotta be ready. Gotta be ready with that trigger. Preload. You know, get it to where, you're in that second stage pretty deep. Yeah. Should have abandoned at this point. Oh, there we go. Would have called it an exit too. All right, we're doing all right. We're putting tens down. Yeah, had an opportunity there. Too fast. Would have called that a mid-ring 10 at 4. Really had a good opportunity there. After 10 shots or so, that trigger always starts to feel kind of heavy. Like I can't break it. As a 10 at 3, I would have called a 10 at 2. So, just one comment here. Often, especially when I'm doing dry fire with the scat, often I find that I am not using the bottom quarter or so of the 10 ring. So, again, my shots and my trace, everything kind of looks to be in this upper 2/3 or 3/4 or so of the 10 ring. So sometimes, if my shots are going a click or two lower than call, like this one did, like the 9 did, like the 8 did, sometimes I'll let it go, in the hopes that it'll fill in some of this bottom part of the circle. Yeah, I understand that there's a risk there. But that's just something that I do sometimes. It does burn me occasionally too, so be cautious. Mm-mm. Again, I had good opportunities. I was probably squeezing and applying pressure to the trigger, but like I said, this can happen after 10 or so shots. 10, 12, maybe even as many as 15. Yep, not happening. So I clicked the safety on, and brought the gun down. Just cradling it. I didn't put it on the stool or anything. And 5 seconds is enough. I feel like wanting to get back in there and look for tens. Yeah. That's about right. Good thing I didn't take that first pass, that one right there. Let's look at that again. Going, going, going. It's about to go left into the center, but then zoom straight through. Yeah. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Would have called that an exit 1. This guy put on 1 click left. I would have called a 10 at 10. Doesn't look like I made any adjustments. Ten at 1. No adjustments. Exit 3. So it looks like my shots are still going at least 2 clicks lower than call. It is filling in the bottom part of the 10 ring though. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I really would have called that X or 10 at like 11. So let's see if I really flinched or what. Let's bring this down in speed and put it. It's coming down, and that's where I thought I broke it, is right there. Yeah, I think the reticle, the dot, was picking up speed, heading in that direction. So probably kind of lucky I caught a 9. Nope. I caught a 9-3. So I got 3 shots left, and this is when it's difficult. It's just the string's not going my way. Just shot 2 9s in a row. Put the gun up again, and I realized, hey, let's just take a break. Take a little breaky break. I ejected the round. Put the gun down. You know what? It was getting really hot. Okay, so I think hot and humid. So I decided, oh, what the heck? I'll just take a break. Towel off. I had breaking position, but position wasn't that great. Never felt solid. Never felt comfortable. And I felt like I had the time, so I took it. Now that I've done that, I don't think I had any more excess time, so really had to get to business. This is a dry fire first. Trying to get my mind to break that shot, squeeze that trigger, keep the trigger moving is the idea. It doesn't actually do that. Wow, really good opportunity. Alright, that'll work. I would have called that an exit 12. Wow, a little bit of a flinch there, right at the end. Let's watch that flinch again. So there, I'm starting to spend a lot of time in that upper part of the 10 ring, and then it dips down right here. Yep. So I had a flinch. You know, my flinches are getting less and less severe. That one looked like it took me to the bottom of the 10 ring, which that's the danger, right? In having shots impact the target a click or two lower than the dot. That's the danger. But it's what I did this string. Not seeing it, and I'm not going to break the shot if it doesn't look good enough. Sort of zooming laterally through the bullseye. Another break. Reset, I mean. And then back in. It's good. All right. I would have called that a 10 at 9. All right. 19 on. Last round. Definitely was hanging out to the right. So I went ahead and shifted my feet. My NPA does tend to drift rightward as the stream goes, so that's fine. Just have to adjust my feet. Wow, that looked really steady, but it was in the wrong spot. I had some really good opportunities there. It looked like maybe I'm nervous because I was getting a lot of vertical bounce. Wow, folks, this is what indecision looks like. Oh God! Holy moly! Wow, talk about indecision. Check this out. Ah, there's one chance. There's two. Eh, two and a half. There's one. There's a third one. There's a fourth chance. Couldn't do it. Okay, fine. Get back in there. Try again. Maybe the next attempt will be smoother. Maybe my trigger finger will be stronger. I don't know. All right, I would have called that a 10 on the line at 12 o'clock, but so let's see. Overall, 195, 3X's. Um, so when I shoot practice sessions, for offhand, I will typically shoot it until I get a score that I'm satisfied with. And this string, regardless of the score, I mean, a 195 isn't anything to be unhappy about, but I think you can tell, there's stuff that I still needed to work on. I've left things on the table. There's unfinished business, right? So I went ahead and I shot a second string of offhand, and that's going to be a second video. So hope you enjoyed this. Maybe you have the same kind of struggles, Maybe when you're looking in your scope, this is similar to what you're seeing. And just know that it's normal. And it's the same beast that we're all fighting. Same little gremlin. And, we just need to train through it. So, happy training, everybody.